What's good, YouTube? It's your boy, Blue Blood Sports TV, back at y'all with another one. So the truth has been revealed, as I told you guys, that took place between World Boxing Association, better known as the WBA welterweight world champion, Cuban star boxer Yordenis Ugas, who is 27 wins, 4 losses, no draws, 12 wins by way of knockout, 35 years of age, 5'9" with a 69-inch arm reach. Yordenis Ugas reveals that I told the truth. When I told you guys Yordenis Ugas had a ruptured torn bicep that required him to have surgery. And now Yordenis Ugas admits before the Errol Spence fight, the massive unification bout between him and Errol Spence. Errol Spence is widely considered to be top 3 best pound-for-pound fighters in the world, unified WBC IBF world champion. He too has 27 wins with no loss and no draw, 21 big wins by way of knockout, 5'9.5" with a 72-inch arm reach. That's scheduled to take place April 16th, Arlington, Texas, AT&T, Dallas Cowboys Stadium. With that said, ahead of his showdown with Manny Pacquiao, Yordenis Ugas, as I told you guys, ruptured his bicep. And now Yordenis Ugas, initially they told you it wasn't true. They told you that I was making up stories. Okay, they told you that there was nothing wrong with Yordenis Ugas. It's natural. Well, now Yordenis Ugas has revealed 3 weeks before the Manny Pacquiao fight, he had the terrible injury that he ruptured his bicep. And obviously, they had to cater to it. Okay, they had to pamper it going into the fight with Manny Pacquiao. Now, the problem is he didn't want to pull out the Manny Pacquiao fight. Okay, Errol Spence has suffered a broken detached retina. He was initially supposed to be the opponent for Manny Pacquiao August 21st, 2021. But obviously, Errol Spence suffered a broken detached retina, which saw Yordenis Ugas replace Errol Spence. And 3 weeks before the fight, Yordenis Ugas had ruptured his bicep. Now, Errol Spence was found out 2 weeks before the fight. 2 weeks before, 2 or 3 weeks before the fight, about the same time frame that Errol Spence had suffered a broken detached retina himself. Okay? You can clearly see the photos of Yordenis Ugas suffering the injury he suffered, but they told you that I didn't know what I was talking about and I was making up stories. Well, now he's admitting that he had to have surgery, and it was bothering him horrifically, okay, terribly, and he had to get it catered to. So both Yordenis Ugas and Errol Spence are going into this fight against one another with lingering injuries. Now, obviously, Errol Spence, coming off injury, I don't want to say lingering. Errol Spence had to have surgery on his eye. Yordenis Ugas had to have surgery on his bicep. Okay, both should be a concern because surgery on your bicep, that could be a recurring thing. Okay, obviously there's people that are concerned with Errol Spence's eye. Okay, broken detached retina. Is it going to be, a situation where it's going to be a reoccurring thing? Is it going to show up in the fight? Well, just as much as that, it's the concern for Errol Spence's eye should be the concern for a ruptured bicep. Okay, more importantly, how did you rupture the bicep? Okay, and so with that said, one false move and that could reoccur as well. You understand? So with that said, I don't believe that either fighter will show any effects of their past injuries. I believe that Yordenis Ugas is healthy, 100% healthy as he can be going into the fight. I don't believe that any fighter is 100% healthy going into any fight. I believe that Errol Spence is going to be 100% healthy as he can be going into this fight. And I think that we're going to get a great fight April 16th in a unification bout, okay? But again, anything is possible. Anything can happen. You never know what can happen. And for all the people that are concerned with Errol Spence going into the fight injured, not being the same, well, the same could be said for Yordenis Ugas, who's 35 years of age, okay? He's not a young spring chicken himself. He's actually 3 years older than Errol Spence Jr. But again, like I said, I don't believe that this will be a factor. I don't believe the eye injury where Errol Spence is going to be a factor, and I don't think the bicep injury with Yordenis Ugas is going to be the factor, okay? But the fact that Yordenis Ugas has confirmed what I've been telling you guys and what I told you guys speaks volumes, okay? But again, this is a brutal sport, okay? Just like the NFL, just like there's injuries in the NBA and all other major sports, okay? There's going to be injuries in boxing, okay? We saw Keith Thurman have multiple injuries. You know, some guys are durable, some guys just suffer injuries that affect them in their careers, okay? Unfortunate situations that take place. It was an unfortunate situation that took place with Errol Spence when he suffered that horrific car accident just 12 days after unifying the titles. It was an unfortunate situation where Errol Spence suffering a broken detached retina, just weeks before his mega showdown, his biggest fight, his biggest opportunity against legendary 8 division world champion, iconic Filipino superstar boxer Manny Pacquiao. Okay, it happens in the sport of boxing. Okay, and so what I'm saying is, at the end of the day, if we're going to be concerned about Errol Spence's injuries going into this fight, you can also be equally as concerned about the injuries to Yordenis Ugas. Okay, many athletes who suffered ruptured or torn biceps, it's a situation that it can reoccur. Okay, and it's something that you have to keep an eye on. So you throw the wrong punch, turn the punch the wrong way, fix your hands, position yourself and get punched in it. Anything can happen. Okay. Reoccurring injuries happen in sports all the time. Okay. So, but again, I just wanted to clarify when I told people that Yordenis Ugas had a ruptured torn bicep. Okay, and it was the injury, and everybody said I was making up stories. Well, now he has confirmed that not only did he have a ruptured bicep, a torn bicep, but he had to have surgery on it as well because it was lingering and it was bothering him 3 weeks before the fight. And then he said that in the fight, obviously, is a big opportunity. He didn't want to let it go. Okay, so they didn't want to reveal it. They didn't want any excuses. They didn't want to, have Manny Pacquiao have any advantages. And so that was the case. Okay, so Yordenis Ugas, he stated that he's 100% healthy going into this fight with Errol Spence Jr. He believes that Errol Spence Jr. Is one-dimensional. He knows how Errol Spence is going to come at him. He's going to come at him. He's a plodding forward guy who is front foot heavy, and that he's going to use his mobility, his lateral movement to offset Errol Spence. He's guaranteeing that he's going to beat Errol Spence. And then he said his sights will be focusing on facing off against Terrence Crawford, who is the biggest rival to Errol Spence, and it makes for 50% of the biggest fight that everybody wants to see between Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford. Okay, Yordenis Ugas has history with Terrence Crawford. He beat Terrence Crawford in the amateurs, and so Yordenis Ugas is looking to to face off against Terrence Crawford for undisputed. Should he beat Errol Spence? 3 belts are on the line. His WBA title, Errol Spence's WBC and IBF title. He's confident that he's going to win this fight. He's confident that he's going to beat Terrence Crawford, and he's going to be undisputed and create history, do something that, has never been done. A Cuban boxer that's undisputed. This is the first time a Cuban fighter, he's already creating history because this is the first time a Cuban fighter is fighting for a unified 3 belts. Okay. And if he should win this fight, then he would be fighting for undisputed against Terrence Crawford. So he's looking to create history. He's very confident. And like I said, I don't believe that there'll be any lingering effects from Errol Spence's broken, detached retina. And I don't believe there'll be any lingering effects from Yordenis Ugas suffering a busted, torn bicep that he had that required him to have surgery on. Okay. As far as Terrence Crawford, we still have to see what's going to happen with Terrence Crawford moving forward, obviously. And this should be a great fight. There's plenty of people that are favoring Yordenis Ugas simply because of the fact that Errol Spence is in a situation that's out of sight, out of mind. He's fought once in 2.5 years. He had obviously the horrific car accident he suffered, and then the broken detached retina. But I just wanted to let you guys know that Yordenis Ugas had an injury going into the fight as well. They required surgery. So if there's going to be cause of concern, it should be on both sides. So let's see how this unfolds and plays out. But that's all I got for y'all. Make sure you hit the like button. Drop a comment in the comment section. Let me know what y'all think. Y'all already know what it is. It's your boy Blue Blood Sports TV. Hate, like, comment, and subscribe. If you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the bell icon to get all the new notification. Follow me on Instagram at Blue Blood Sports TV, all one word. Y'all already know what it is. Shout out to the entire LDBC. Shout out to New Media. Shout out to Black Media Row. Make sure you like and share these videos. That's all I got for y'all. Peace.